Real estate rentals don't just pay you once, they pay you three different ways at the same time. When it comes to real estate, investors normally think about appreciation and cash flow. But there's a third return that I haven't heard many people talk about much, and it's the one that supercharges generational wealth building. How do I know this? Well, I've owned a duplex for 16 years, and it's paid me all three of these returns every single month. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what they are and how all three of these stack together to build real, lasting legacy wealth for you and your family. Now, if you enjoy videos on investing in real estate, let me know by tapping that like button. And if you know of someone else that would appreciate this information, please share it with them. Let's jump in. Return number one, appreciation. Now, this is where you buy a piece of property for $400,000, and in a few years, or if you're lucky, a few months, it jumps up to $500,000. $100,000 in appreciation, not bad. This is the one that probably the most people are familiar with, and it is definitely a great return of real estate, but it's just one of the three that we're going to be discussing. Appreciation is very, very important to understand, and it's driven by things like population growth, that includes immigration, job growth. So if a big company comes into the city or into town and provides, an additional 5,000 jobs, that will lead to fast real estate appreciation or fast property appreciation. But it's also driven by inflation and housing supply constraints. And those are two items that sophisticated investors pay very close attention to. Now, return number two that we need to talk about is cash flow. Now, this one is pretty easy to grasp. This is basically where your mortgage payment plus your expenses equals about $1,200 a month, but you rent the place out for $1,300 a month. That's $100 cash flow. Great, you're positive. Cash flow positive. That's the best place to be. So what is cash flow driven by? Well, it's driven by a lot of the same factors that drive real estate appreciation. Population growth, job growth, inflation, and housing supply constraints. These all affect market rent the way they affect the appreciation of regular single-family homes. Two additional factors to driving cash flow growth would be forcing appreciation by things like extra amenities, more parking spaces, garages, carports, or else just cutting expenses. Plain old cutting expenses can increase cash flow as well. Maybe instead of thinking of it as just cutting expenses, think of it as building inefficiencies into operations. Now, here's the third return that I said people don't talk about enough, and I was actually really surprised by this, that people don't talk about this more. It's quiet and unassuming, but it really supercharges it and takes a low-performing investment and can really turn it into a great investment instead. And that is return number three, tenant-funded loan paydown. This is where your renter pays your mortgage payment. Now remember, a mortgage payment is subdivided into two separate categories or columns. You have your interest and you have your principal. So if you have $500 being paid towards interest every month and $500 being paid towards principal every month, that is essentially, if your renter is making that mortgage payment for you, that renter is essentially paying $500 towards your retirement every month, because that principal payment converts money that is owed into equity. It essentially converts debt into equity. This is very key, and it's one of the reasons that real estate is quietly one of the best ways to build that family wealth. People love the idea of employer 401k matching. But what if you could get 10 employers each matching your single 401k contribution? Well, with real estate investing, you kind of can, because instead of 10 employers, you have 10 units that you rent out, and each renter in those 10 units is paying money towards your retirement. Few investments offer all three of these returns in a single investment vehicle. And that is one of the reasons why real estate, especially rentals, are quietly one of the most common ways to build legacy or family wealth over time. So thanks for watching. I enjoyed sharing this with you today.